about the NFL and work ourselves around, man, on this show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight we're gonna talk about let's talk about NFL, man. Some stuff coming out today. Dallas firing their defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. They had a really bad defense this year. Now, a lot of it had to do with talent right away. Right before the season started, they traded Micah Parsons away, their best defensive player by far. And then from there, they try to make it work. They try to go get Williams, the defensive lineman from the Jets. It got a little bit better, but I thought after a while the teams kind of figured them out too, and it wasn't enough. And so they have a few draft picks to try to tighten up the defense, and they're going to continue to get better, not only in the draft, but also by getting a new defensive coordinator. We'll see who they hire. We'll see who they bring in. I want eventually, I don't think he's not on the Cowboys anymore, but he was a while ago. Al Harris, the assistant coach. I think he's in Chicago now. Yeah. But they could still bring him back, right? I kind of want him to get I think he would, I don't know. A lot of former players, D'Amico Ryans, Mike Vrabel, right? They've been successful being defensive coaches. So, but we'll see what happens. I don't know who they'll bring in, but just because he was there a few years ago as an assistant defensive coach, it would be kind of fun if they would bring Al Harris as the new defensive coordinator. But we'll see. We'll see who they bring on. But Dallas Cowboys have have a few draft picks. They're probably going to go on defense, and I'll also have to hire a new defensive coordinator. Next one is the freaking Baltimore. Excuse me. Baltimore, man. Freaking Baltimore fires their longtime head coach, John Harbaugh. Oh my Lord. And I said it on Sunday. I'm like, the worst thing that can happen to this kid after crying for missing the kick is now the coach is getting fired. And now it's been happening, man. John Harbaugh has been fired. Holy frijoles. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe what my ears were seeing, man. I really couldn't. John Harbaugh is fired. Man. Holy frijoles, man. He spent there, 18, 19 years? I think he started when I was a freshman in high school. Literally, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe that John Harbaugh got fired. They're saying that already 5-7 teams have called already. Some teams are calling. They have a head coach, and they're calling. Wow, that's crazy. And there's going to be more. I think we got to see what happens with Buffalo and Pittsburgh, right? If they don't win the wild card matchup, both Mike Tomlin and Sean McDermott can be in trouble. That's why I wonder, some of these coaches, John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski. I do wonder if they're gonna wait and see what happens this weekend, especially with Buffalo, right? Who wouldn't love to coach Josh Allen? Especially Stefanski. I think he could do a really good job with Josh Allen. I think he's interviewing with the New York Giants here this week, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I would be a little bit surprised if the New York Giants hire him and he doesn't even wait to see what happens this weekend with Buffalo, because that would be the best right now. The best job is the New York job, but if that Buffalo job were to become available, that would be because of Josh Allen, man. So I would be a little bit surprised if both Kevin Stefanski and John Harbaugh sign right away. I think they're gonna wait until next week to see what happens with the with the Buffalo and Pittsburgh. I don't know. I guess they could. It's interesting too, because if Pittsburgh does not win, them seeing that the Ravens fired John Harbaugh can kind of make it say, oh, we should do the same thing, because I think it's around the same time. I think literally a year more. Mike Tomlin has been there for 19 years. I think John Harbaugh was in Baltimore for 18. So that could kind of say, oh, we should do the same thing. So that's gonna be crazy. It happened a few years ago, right? Pete Carroll and Belichick, I believe, got fired the same year, 2023, if I'm not mistaken, right? So now could we here in 2026, or could we see both legendary coaches Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh fired? We'll see, man. And then the final one is Washington fires their offensive coordinator Cliff Kunks. What's his name? Cliff Kingsbury is fired, ladies and gentlemen. Former Arizona head coach. He spent the last few years as an offensive coordinator in Washington. He had a really good first year with Jane Daniels. Not so much this year. Part of it had to do with the injuries. But Cliff Kingsbury, I think it's Kingsbury is fired, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens to him. For what I'm hearing, they don't think he's a head coach material. They think he's more as an offensive minded coach. They said he's a very smart, like a play caller and like making plays, creating new plays. But then he doesn't have like the attitude to be a head coach. So they're saying that Cliff Kingsbury, if he were to remain as a coach, would probably have to be as an offensive coordinator. But we'll see what happens with him. Also, Jason Garrett, former Dallas Cowboys coach, is interviewing this week for the Titans head coaching job. Interesting. Jason Garrett, man, people thought he was going to be super smart coming out of, I think, Princeton or something, one of the best colleges in the world. And then they thought he was going to be like what Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan ended up being. That's what years ago Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys thought Jason Garrett was going to end up being, man. And he was nowhere as good. He was like a 500 coach. Sometimes we get him into the playoffs. A lot of times we just miss the playoffs. Last year has been on NBC Sports working. I think Saturdays he does Notre Dame games, and then Sundays he does the NFL, Sunday Night Football. But interesting. I thought he was done coaching, but he's at least going to get a chance here to have a conversation with the Titans. So we'll see if Jason Garrett can somehow get back in the NFL coaching world. It would be a little bit surprised, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I think what else is going on? The Oregon, let's see here. Oregon's quarterback is being told by scouts and coaches to stay in school for one more year because the belief is that if he enters the draft, he will get picked up by the New York Jets, and that will not be good for him. So a lot of people are telling the Oregon quarterback to stay one more year in college. So maybe next year the Jets I don't have a top pick. Because right now the belief is that Fernando Mendoza will go to the Raiders, and then the Jets would pick up the quarterback from Oregon. So a lot of people are advising Oregon's quarterback to stay in college one more year to avoid getting picked by the Jets. Damn. That's crazy, man. And now these guys making $3 to $5 million with the NIL money, they don't mind it. They don't mind it, man. They don't mind it. I think we could see a lot better developed players because now they're going to stay 3 to 4 years in college because they're making all this money. Same thing in basketball had this huge problem, right? All the 5-star recruits were one and done. But now with making somewhere between $3 to $5 million, I think a lot of kids are not going to mind going to college for at least 3 years and getting bigger, stronger, developing. This could be good, man. But so we'll see. But they are advising us to stay one more year at college. I think last one is Miami is heavily considered bringing back both Tua Tagovailoa and head coach Mike McDaniels. A lot of people believe that the main problem they were not successful was because of general manager. And that if they can get a better general manager, they could draft and develop players better, sign better players on free agency, and that it could put both Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniels in a better position to be successful in the future. We'll see what happens. They're interesting. A lot of people thought that the Miami was going to move on from Tagovailoa, but that does not appear to be the case anymore. Interesting situation there. Ladies and gentlemen, what else can I talk about here tonight? I think I saw San Antonio versus Memphis. What was the final score? Like 105-104. Memphis wins it. Kind of fun game. I was surprised. I thought, the way San Antonio has been playing basketball, I thought they were gonna win that game for sure, man. I really did. But a freaking Memphis with the win, man. Holy free holy. So let me see if I can pull up the stats here. But yeah, I was very surprised, man. I really was. Let me see here. Let me see here, ladies and gentlemen. Wembanyama, 30 points for Wembanyama, man. De'Aaron Fox only 9 points. Stephen Castle 15. 23 for Julian Champagnie. 23 for him. But yeah, man, Wembanyama, man, led the way with 30. Wembanyama continues to come off the bench. That makes me why does Victor Wembanyama come off the bench for San Antonio? Like, they wanted to meet the second coming of Manu Ginobili. Like, what the fudge, man? But yeah, 30 points for Wembanyama off the bench, 23 for Chambi. Stephen Castle with 15, De'Aaron Fox with 9. Jaren Jackson 21. Let's see here. Cam Spencer 21. Jack Liddell 19. 15 for Vince Williams. Ja Morant did not play tonight, so that made it more impressive. The fact they beat one of the best teams in the West, the Memphis Grizzlies, without Ja Morant. Holy free holies! I did not see that coming. But yeah, man, they were led by Jaren Jackson and Spencer with 21 apiece, and then also Lendl with 19, man. And they overcome a 30 points by Wembanyama, man. But Stephen Castle and De'Aaron Fox didn't play that good. But yeah, man, it was a fun little game. It really was, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Anything else? About Lakers win. Mavericks win. Minnesota wins. Honestly, that was the best game, honestly. No, Pinocchio. That was probably the best game, the San Antonio Memphis game. Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if there's any wrestling news. So I think they were trying to figure out what they were gonna do with WWE's library. That's basically the past, like all the matches from like years ago. It was on the Peacock, but they were trying to figure out what to do with it. And now the contract had expired, and officially Netflix has acquired WWE's library. So that's where you can watch all the throwback stuff from like years ago, 5, 10, 15 years ago. I'm not sure exactly. A lot of people thought they were going to do it on YouTube. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's a really easy spot to find it on YouTube. But apparently they're going to do it on Netflix. So we'll see. If you want to watch anything from WWE back in the day, you have to go to Netflix. But I'm sure obviously you can watch some stuff on the YouTube as well. What else can I say? Stephanie McCraw has a minor foot injury, but she should be fine. They're saying that she was wearing that cast. It's actually a little legit injury, but it's not too bad to the point where she's gonna be out for a while, but she could be out for a few weeks with a little foot injury. Can Stephanie Veker la primera? Oh shit. Let me see here. What else? Obi Femi relinquished the NXT Championship tonight and pretty much kind of saying, I'm too good for this. I'm going to the main roster. The belief is he's going to SmackDown. He left the title in the middle of the ring after he won his championship match tonight. So Obi Femi pretty much saying, I am too good for this. I am leaving for the main roster. The belief is also Blake Monroe could also be headed to SmackDown. I think with what happened with Blake Monroe a few weeks ago, I think that she kind of got a little bit hurt by one of the wrestlers, and she couldn't kick out because like she got the wind blown out of her. And so I think they're doing this to kind of like say, oh, we're sorry. We know you're better than this. Obviously, you worked in the main roster when you were in both Japan and AEW. So I think this is a way to like make her happy. My guess is she's pretty frustrated with the situation that happened. Some people were saying that it was the referee. Some people are saying that the person she was fighting had her pretty hard to the point where she got the wind knocked out of her, and that's why she couldn't kick out. Whatever it was, a lot of people are kind of like the belief. There's talks that she could be headed to SmackDown as well with Oba Femi and Trick Williams, Blake Monroe, and she could do it. Obviously, she was in AEW. Before that, she was in Japan. She's wrestled probably, dude. I think she wrestled in that All In show, right? Which is, what was it, like 50,000 people? So she should be fine in WWE. My guess is at the Royal Rumble. Same thing with Oba Femi. My guess, Oba Femi makes his debut on the Royal Rumble. So I think they're really trying to stack up SmackDown. I think that's going to be the philosophy going forward. All the big stars are going to be on Raw, and you're going to have all the younger guys trying to make a name for themselves on SmackDown. Jesus Christ, man, I got to get off. I've been on for 15 minutes. Dude, I have diarrhea in the mouth. Guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm so apologized, man. I went over 15 minutes, man. I feel like my grandma tonight. I can't stop talking on a fucking Tuesday. I'm so apologizing. Somebody give me some fucking tea or some coffee with cookies on a fucking Tuesday night, man. I can't stop. I can't shut up. Anyways, let me call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you, the fans, from the bottom of my stomach, from joining me tonight. I will be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, tomorrow we have basketball again. We don't have football until Thursday, but then we have like 5-day race: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's gonna be fun. But anyways, holla.